Okay, looks like we got a couple of questions sent in. Get rid of all this junk. That's another question. It's 155. It looks like that MyLabs Plus is getting back on track. I think something knocked them off Wampus for a couple of days. And I can honestly tell you that I have worked with Course Compass since 1997, and I've never seen such trouble as they've had the last couple of days. I've never seen that before. So evidently they got either hit by a hacker or they got hit by a virus or something, or the power went out or something happened. But I've never seen it like that before. Now, have I seen people break an amble with a banana trying to get on? Yeah, that's normal. Some of y'all could break an amble with a banana when it comes to computers, okay? But as far as this is the worst I've ever seen them have problems. So don't hold it against them. Like I said, they usually are pretty good about that. All right, I think I got 3 homework questions. One from 5.159. Let's see what it looks like. Jean collects toy cars. She has 784 white cars and 224 black cars. She wants to line up the cars in groups so that each group has the same number of cards and contains 1 white car or 1 black car. What is the largest number of cars that she can have in the group? Go ahead and write that one down. This is not a test question, but go ahead and write it down for your notes so you'll have it for whenever you see this problem. Take a minute and write it down. You're probably going to be finding the least common multiple. Least common multiple. Because it has that word, what? In common. When you see the word in common, that usually means you're going to find the least common multiple. So find your least common multiple of those two. Go ahead and find the greatest common divisor too, because they may have asked for that. I don't know if they're going to ask for it or not. But when you see the word common, in common, so 224 and 784. 2, 1, 1, 2. 2 will go into 7 3 times. I'll leave 18. I'll do 9 and 2. 2, 56. 2 will go into 3 1 time. That'll leave 19. 19 will be 18. 6. 2 will go in there, 38 or 28 times. 2 will go into 19 9 times, and then 16 8 times. 2 will go into 28 14 times. 2 will go into 98, that's 4 and 9. 7, 2 and 7, and at that point the real math what? Stops. So you got 16 times 7. That's the smallest number that will go into both 224 and 784. So 16 times 7 is going to be 114 or 112. Somebody help me out. 16 times 7, isn't that 112? Yes, no. Yes. Okay, now just keep on going. 2, 1, and 7. 7, 1, and 1. And this is your greatest common divisor, which would be 2 to the 5th power, which is 32 times 49. So 32 times 49. Now you could actually do that when 49 times 30, and then add 98. So 49 times 30 would be 490 times 3. 490 times 3 is going to be 1450. Okay, well, I was doing it in my head till Miss Calculator Drill Team did the problem on the calculator. Okay, so that should be your answer. Now, I don't know which one they're asking. Let me put in here. The largest number, it looks like, is going to be whatever you said. But I don't know. The question is kind of quirky as far as what they're asking. The largest number of cars that Jen could have in a group, to me, that would be 112. See if that's right. And then the other one is going to be this BA number right here. Oh, that's all it's asking? Okay, so they just want this number, which is right there. So that number is, that's right here. Real math stops right there. They don't even need this number. What'd you say that number was again? 15 what? Okay, so that's that question. Next question. The next question in the homework is 5.353. 5.353, 53 in the book. If you turn to 5.3 homework and you look in the book, it looks like it's similar to 53. Or in your online homework, it's similar to number 15. I hate these problems. I wish they could cut them out of the homework because they're useless. All right, this is what you call a repeating decimal problem. First thing I want you to do is write it as an equation. X is equal to 3.27 repeating. Okay, now what place value is it in? The 100. So I need to multiply by 100. So multiply the top and the bottom, and at the left and the right side, by 100, and get a new equation. Excuse me. What's 100 times x? 100x. This makes a new equation. And what's 100 times 327 repeating? 3.27 repeating. 327.27 repeating, right? Because what do you do when you multiply by 100? Well, there's two zeros. You move the decimal how many places? 2 places because there's 2 zeros. So I moved it to 327.27. Now you've got two equations up here. 100x is equal to 327.27 repeating. And x is equal to 3.27 repeating. What can I do to make the repeating numbers go away? Erase them? Yeah. Erase them. What can you do? Say again? Subtract. Remember, enunciate and volume. Subtract. Y'all ever heard some people leave voicemails before? Oh, that, make sure y'all enunciate. All right, so subtract. Get my big old head in the way. Now, what does that do? Well, the main thing it does is it cuts off your repeating the numbers. Cuts them out. Now, over here you got 99x is equal to, what's 327 minus 3? And divide by 99. And x is equal to 324 over 99. Now basically what you did is you turned 3.27 in a repeating format into a fraction. So take your handy dandy calculator and take 324 and divide it by 99. See what you get. And what's the 27 doing? It's repeating. And that's how you do it. It's kind of a trick. Is it a test question? No. I wouldn't give you, if I do give you that one, you have permission to hit me if I do. Huh? Where did you get that? Oh, I ain't worried about that right now. I'm just gonna make sure everybody understands. Can I be in charge for a while? All right. Just do that. We'll worry about that later. You can divide that. Divide by 3 on each. I think 3 and 11 is the only thing that go in either one of them, and 3 are going to 24. So chances are it's going to be like 108 over 33. Oh, 11. Sorry. Yeah. I think I'm right. Okay, fine. 324 will be 108 over. Yeah, it goes one more. All right, so hopefully that helps. Anybody got a question on that one? You're not going to ask me anyway, right? Would you send it to me? Well, send it to me. So I don't have to pull it up. Next one is 5.3, 101.
That's it.
Okay. I've never seen this problem before, so I have no idea what the answer is. While on vacation, Janet traveled the full length of the interstate, Highway 5, from the U.S.-Canadian border to the U.S.-Mexican border. See the company map. She recorded the accompanying travel times between cities, completing parts A through B. Okay. Blaine, Washington to Seattle. Blaine, Washington to Seattle. Okay. Travel times between cities. 1 hour, 41 minutes. They want you to put it in terms of fractions. So that means you got to put minutes. How many minutes are in an hour? So you got to put every one of your minutes over 60. That's what you got to do. So the first one, between Blaine, Washington, 1 hour, 41 minutes, 1 hour and 41 minutes. I can't do this. 1 hour, 41 minutes is equal to 1 and 41 over what? And then reduce if possible. Okay, don't reduce. Okay. All right. The second one is 2 hours, 48 minutes. 2 hours, 48 minutes. And that's equal to 2 and 48 over 60. And then the next one is Portland to Sacramento, 10 hours, 3 minutes. 10 hours, 3 minutes is equal to 10, 3 over 60. And Sacramento to Los Angeles, 5 hours, 5 minutes. 5 hours, 5 minutes is equal to 5 over 60. Los Angeles to San Diego, 2 hours, 16 minutes. And then the last leg from San Diego to San Isidro, whatever, is 36 minutes. So it'd be 0 hours and 36 out of 60. And you put 0 hours if you wanted to. You don't have to do that.
Maybe that's what it is.
What? Maybe what's what? Is that the one you're always getting wrong? Huh? No. It wouldn't work? It shouldn't work because I don't know what the answer would be. Let's see what the answer.
You know what the answer is. So this first part, if you go and put that in, 141 over 60,
Uh-huh.
248 over 60, you do it. If you get a green check mark, I'm walking out.
Is that all I got to do to get you to walk out of here?
Because I'm at 99.29 on this particular homework because of this problem.
Will you quit worrying about that? I'll change it. Don't worry about it.
But it still ain't changing. You've been saying that for 2 weeks. I'm just telling you, you said you were going to change it.
All you got to do, yeah, when I get ready for the test, I'll change it. Good gracious. Squirrel? All right, let's see what the answers are. I'm just going to type in 3 for each one. What they want. That's the answers I got. 1 over 4160, 2 over 4860, 10 360, 5 560, 2 1660, and 36 over 60. I'm sorry, what? That's it. That's the answers right there. Who sent this one? All right, what did it say when you said you got it right, but it marked it wrong? What did you type in all these answers? Well, hold on. Well, since you got it wrong, I'm gonna fix it. Oh, but that means I don't like you, right? All right, want to pick on you? Let's see. Let's go to grade book. No, that's your grade book. This grade book. And let's see what the problem is. What homework was that? 5.3. So let me pull it up. Homework. 5.3.
Look at all the 99.29s.
Just hold on a minute. Watch what I do here. You may learn something. All right. I'm going to increase everybody's by how many questions? 28. See what happens when I do 1 point. That fix. Looking, let's find you, make sure you're satisfied. Miss Bradley changes you from a 27.8 to a 28.8. How's that? And gives you a little bit of bonus. How about that?
Thanks.
All right. What's your last name again? I'm sorry, I forgot it. Not Jacob. Jacobs. Did it knock yours up too? Good. Okay, now is everybody happy?
You ain't gonna put that on a little test?
Just yours. All right. So that takes care of that homework. So let's go back to the, oh, you didn't send that one. Okay, so, all right. So now let's move into 5.3, finish 5.3 today. And that is multiplying fractions. And it should be pretty simple because trying multiplying fractions is not that hard. I don't teach if nobody shows up. Because you see, if I tell y'all not to show up, there's always one person in here is going to go to my boss and say, Hubert told us not to come on Labor Day. So there ain't no way in heck I'm going to tell y'all not to come. I just tell you I don't teach if nobody shows up.
Somebody do it. I bet you a dog said go to the goal. Somebody will walk in that goal.
All right. So multiply and divide fractions. Multiply and divide fractions, basically two rules. Do it and reduce. Reduce and do it. This is a Hubertism, so you're not going to see this in the book or anything. This is multiplying. Now, the number one rule you can do all the time. Number one rule, you do it no matter what. The number two rule, you can only do it when applicable. Sometimes you can't. So this one is restricted. This one's not. So what does this one look like? Well, 3 over 2 multiplied by 6 over 7. All right? Whenever you have one of these, you do it and reduce. 3 times 6 is 18. 2 times 7 is 14. And yes, you can reduce. 2 will go in there, 9 over 7. So your answer is 9 over 7. Now you take that same problem, 3 over 2 times 6 over 7, and you can reduce first, that's called reducing first, and cancel. Which way can you cancel diagonally? Well, 3 and 7 are prime, so there's nothing there. But what are these two? 2 will go into 2 one time, 2 will go into 6 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 7 is 7. It's the same answer. But this way, you can't do it all the time. Because some numbers don't go into other numbers. So you can't do that all the time. But I show both because, it's not going to shut you down as far as the class goes. If you stick with this, you're going to be all right. You just can't do this one all the time. Let's do a nerve. They've got the buttons messed up. This button is not supposed to pull that up. It's supposed to hit that. They've got that's what's wrong. I'll show you. So this is a standardized test question you'll see. You'll just see 2/3, 6 over 8. That's all you'll see. So do it both ways or do it one way. Do it whatever you want. I don't care. Just make sure you do it the right way. If you don't, just consider yourself what? A failure. Yeah, there you go. So if you did it the first way, what's 2 times 6? And what's 3 times 8? And then that's what? Or 3 will go into 3 one time, 3 will go into 6 2 times, 2 will go into 2 one time, 2 will go into 8 4 times. 4, 2 and 4 will cancel into 1/2. You get the same answer, no matter what you do. Okay? Now, I'm not gonna sit here and insult everybody's intelligence, I'm gonna do one more. But most of the time, this is no joke, most of the time, 90% of the class can do these versus adding and subtracting. Most of the time, the class shuts down, half the class shuts down with adding and subtracting fractions. And when you get to dividing and multiplying, everybody's like, oh yeah, I know how to do that, because it's easy. So let's do a nerd. This time, mixed number, let y'all work it out. 2 3/4 times 6 and 2/3. Now, of course, the first thing I would do is change everything to a improper fraction, or quit. Quitting is easier. So 4 times 2 is what? 8 plus 3? 11/4. 6 times 3? 18 plus 2? Now the 3 and the 11 can't do anything, but what can the 4 do? 4 will go here 1 time and there 5, 55 over 3. Now why am I not changing it into a mixed number? Well, I will change it to a mixed number because it started with a mixed number. Usually, I don't do that. So 3 will go into 55. Well, 3 go into 5 1 time. That'll leave 25. 3 will go into 25 8 times. Leave 1/3. So that's your answer. And you will have a lot of these on your homework, dividing and multiplying. Now, dividing, the good part about multiplying and dividing fractions is there's no dividing. You just multiply by the reciprocal. So really, you're just going to do all multiplying. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Dividing fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. So if I have 2/3 divided by 1/3, then I multiply by the reciprocal. So I take 2/3 and I multiply by the reciprocal of 1/3, and the reciprocal of 1/3 is 3/1. The ones cancel and you're left with what? All right, you try this one. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up. There you go. There is no such thing as division, so the first thing you do is change it to multiplication. When you change it to multiplication, that means you have to flip the next fraction, flip it upside down. That's right. It wouldn't be called the reciprocal if you didn't flip it. So that's going to give us 3/4 times what? 6/1, and the 4, 2 will go into 4 2 times, 2 will go into 6 3 times, 3 times 3 is 9/2. Unit of measurement. And that's the rule I go by. Now, if it starts with a mixed number, then it would end with a mixed number. But unless this Waskin, this is Waskin, for a unit of measurement, you leave it 9/2. Because 9/2 is more simplified than what? 4/1/2? I'll show you. 9/2. My pencil hit the paper 3 times. 1, you can count that as 2 or 1. 4 and 1. 1/2. 1, 2, 3. So 5, 2 plus 3 is 5, or 1 plus 3 is 4. It hits it 4 to 5 times. How many times does it hit right here with 9/2? 9 hits 3 times. So it's not reduced when you change it into a mixed number, it's rewritten. Okay? Reduced is when you simplify it to an easier term. A mixed number is not an easier term. We like them because it makes more sense to us, but as far as a simplified term, it's more simplified if you leave it as an improper fraction. A lot of people don't realize that. If you ever have a teacher tell you that you're reducing 9/2 to 4 1/2, you can actually tell them they're wrong. Now, what about 4/2? Are you reducing 4/2? Yes. 4/2 is not a mixed number. 4/2 is what? No, 4/2, what does it make? What does it turn into? A whole number. Whole number is not a mixed number. Okay, so it's 2 different animals. Okay? So yes, you can reduce 4/2 to a 2, which is a whole number. But reducing from an improper fraction to a mixed number, reducing is the wrong word. Rewriting is the right word. And that is 5.3. Now I'm going to go back to 5.2. Now 5.2 is integers. And integers are positive and negative what? Positive and negative numbers. Now all I need to tell you is to treat a negative like you owe money. I know none of y'all in here owe money because y'all got money in abundance, but there's some of us that do. This means you have money, which I usually do the first couple of days after payday. And when you have 2 negatives together like that, and there's nothing between them, that usually equals a positive. Those are the only 3 rules you have to remember with combining positives and negatives. Now, if you want to make it difficult and remember 15 different rules that you were told to learn back in K through 12, then go ahead and knock yourself out. Those are the only 3 that I teach. You have $5. You owe $4. You combine these 2 together. 5 and you owe 4. You have 5 and you owe 4. What's the outcome? You have 1. A lot of people say, well, that's easy. That's an easy one. All right, let's flip it around. -7 plus 2. What does this mean? You owe 7. What does this mean? Now this is Hubert's world. Okay? You owe 7,700, and you have 2,000 or 200. The answer is going to come out and be what? Negative because you still what? You still owe. Now there are people, let's talk real now. There are a few people, like my ex, that believe if you throw away a bill and you don't pay it, eventually, what happens to that bill if you throw it away? It goes away. There's some people that believe that if you have a negative in front of a number, that doesn't mean anything. They don't pay their bills. You see what I'm getting at? All right. So for 90% of the population, this works. All right. People that throw away bills and think they just disappear, it don't work that way. All right. So this works. I guarantee if you think of bills, when you think of owing, you won't have any more problems. You owe $7 and you have $2. Now you are a good person that tries to pay off their bills. So what's the outcome of this transaction? You still owe $5. Easy as that. So you can think up I'll give you another one. Here's another one y'all have to fit over. -3 plus -4. What does this say? You owe $3. What does this say? You owe $4. Now, if you owe MasterCard $100 and you owe, and you owe Visa $100, what do you owe credit cards? What'd you do? You combine them. So if I owe $3 to somebody and I owe $4 to somebody, what's the outcome? You owe $7. Simple as that. The only one that y'all might have a problem with is this next one. 3 minus a -6. Well, there I told you, if you ever see two negatives together, what do you turn it into? And that becomes 9. Don't think too much on this, okay? Just do what I do. My daddy used to tell me when I was a kid, I don't pay you to think. All right? On that one, don't think too much. All right, let's try nerd. You owe 12. You have 3. Hubert's World. Hubert's bank account. No, not on payday. Today's payday, so I'm rich. I'm rich for a couple of days. What's the answer? Well, what's bigger? Your debt or your income? Your debt. So that means you're going to be in the poorhouse. When people laugh at that, let me ask you a question. Bill Gates. Is he ever going to be in the poorhouse? No. How about Mark Zuckerberg, whatever his name is? Youngest billionaire in history. Is he ever going to be in debt? Nope. Why? Because unless he gets a $20 billion electric bill, he's not going to have his bills overload his what? His bank account. So his life is going to be happy, happy, happy. Because he's all in the positive. Versus Hubert, they know likes to spend money. They know bank account is not as big as they know bills. So when the alimony comes out, and when the mortgage comes out, and when the utilities come out, and when the what else? The direct, gotta have those movies. Gotta have movies. Whenever direct comes out, they know there's a little bit of grocery money, and that's about it. Yeah, got to have a license. I thought I paid that. I'm sorry. You have to pay the phone bill and the electric bill. Got to have the air conditioning. They ain't done left.
Why? Because my check ain't big enough. All right. So what do? I don't pay my bills. I keep getting stuff, but I don't pay my bills. No, I go and find something else to do. I get another job. It's called the farm. And I work on the farm to help supplement my income, or vice versa. I think it's more of me supplementing the farm. All right. That's how you you know. It's called is that word? Working. Thank you. It takes a little bit out. Some people don't understand it. I can't pay my bills. It's Bush's fault. Anyway, you owe. What happened? What happened to my? Oh well. We owe money. We owe what? $9. Now somebody tell me what's difficult about that. I guarantee you, if I worked at cashier, I did work at Walmart for years, 2 years. I guarantee you it'd take a nanosecond for a woman to, and usually women, guys don't care, they just put it in their pocket and keep on walking. All right? But women, don't y'all tell me you can't do math. It's like a nanosecond after that change hits your hand. It's like 5 nanoseconds. So what are you doing? Man, you owe me another dime. Don't tell me you can't do math. Everybody in here can do math when they put it to what? Money. I asked you what 6 times 25 is, and you go reach for a calculator. I asked you what 6 quarters is, you tell me it's $1.50. Why do you do that? Conditioning. You're conditioned to think if you don't think outside of money, you can't do it in your head. And we all know that's Bush's fault. Let's try one more. -6 plus 15. Is this a Bill Gates or a Hubert? This is Bill Gates. Why? Because there you go. Your paycheck's more than your bills. So the answer is going to be positive. Happy, happy, happy. So your answer is going to be positive, and what is, you owe 6, and you have 15 in your pocket. So let's just do that in our head. I give them the $6. How much have I got left? It was positive because you still got it. So I'm anxious for somebody to bring me a problem that they can't figure out using money with positives and negatives. Now, if I add 15 different rules to it, then y'all get confused. So I choose not to do that. Dang old fish, dang old eat for a day, dang old fishing pole, dang old eat forever. Don't bog it up with a bunch of rules. Show the person how to do it. Boom, there we go. Now again, with the fractions and with the integers, what's the most terrible part combining? Well, what about multiplying? That's easy. The multiplying's easy. Y'all get that right on test. Multiplying and dividing integers. Somebody tell me the rule. I know you've heard the rule before. What's the rule with multiplying and dividing integers? Okay, I'll do it. Like signs are what? Unlike signs are what? You ever jumped off a car? Everybody in here should know how to jump off a car. Not get on the top of it and jump off of it. That's not what I'm talking about. Take battery cables. Let me go back. Let me rewind. You take jumper cables and you put the red on the hot. Red on the hot. That means the red cable or the red handle goes on the positive battery terminal. And you put the red cable on the other battery on the positive battery terminal. How do you know which one's the positive? Well, it has on the plastic battery, look right below the post, and you'll see a positive or a negative. And the cable that usually comes off of it that goes to your car is usually red also. Red is hot. It means it's hot. What happens if you take the red cable, put it on the red on one, and then put it on the negative on the other? Sparks. You ever seen sparks hit when somebody, it's always known, always tell somebody knows what to do when they jump a car on. You got a boyfriend or whatever, yeah, I know how to do it. And you're sitting in the car, you know, like this, and then all of a sudden you see fireworks. You know what that means? Hang a sign around his neck. He don't know what the hell he's doing. Anyway, like signs. If you put positive with positive, is there any problem? No. If you put negative with negative, is there any problem? No. If you mix the two, you're going to have fireworks. Okay? Now, it's okay if you do it just for a second or two. It don't burn up your alternator. But if you leave them on there until they melt, then yes, your alternator is shot down on the car that works. Okay? Question on that. So, let's do a couple of examples. -2 times -3. Do we have like signs? Yes. Black, black. Negative, negative. Can I put negative with negative? Yes. So that gives me no problem. That gives me a 6. Remember, black, black. Red, red. Positive, positive. Negative, negative. If you do the same thing, you're good. -2 times 7. What colors have I got now? Black and red don't mix. I got fireworks. Fireworks means negative. Fireworks are negative. Then of course that's 14. Am I worried about your 2 times 7? Am I worried about that? No. You're in college. You should know what 2 times 7 is. All right. The signs is that's what y'all mess up. Don't mess them up. When do they get you? Here's where they get you on the division. -4 over +2. Which one's negative? Does it matter? No. You got -4 over +2 or 4 over -2. All three of these is equal to what? -2, because they're unlike what? Unlike signs. If they were like signs, what would the answer be? It would look like this, which none of these look like this, and it would be what? Positive, because these are 2 red cables, and 2 black cables. This is a black cable, this is a red cable. Remember, black and red, fireworks. Fireworks, negative. Or you could say melted alternator is negative. You got to buy a new one. I'll give you a hint on your battery. How do you know if your battery's dead? How do you know if your battery is no good when you go out to your car and you crank it and it doesn't do anything? How do you know your battery's dead? When it quits, good. What? Well, you can do that too. That's kind of dangerous, but you could, yeah. It's a whole lot easier way to tell. Come on, people. What? Turn your headlights on. If your headlights don't come on, or they kind of an orangey looking color, that means your battery's dead. It means you might have left something off. You might have left something on. You're going to need a jump. Okay? What if your lights are bright as they can be and nothing? What does that mean? That means it's usually very high humidity, or it's rain, or it's raining, and your Bendix is stuck on your alternator. What do? Well, if you got a manual transmission, you put it in first gear and you rock it back and forth and it'll knock that loose and you crank it up. If it's a automatic, you got to get up under there with a hammer or something and tap the starter a couple of times and crank that up. What if you're going down the road? I'm just talking like this. This is just general. What if you're going down the road and your car just dies? I mean, no lights, no anything. Anybody know? Your car was running off your battery. because the alternator's shot. How do you know if the car's running off the alternator and the battery's shot and not charging? Well, usually that happens when it's running real good and you pull up in the carport and you cut it off and it won't turn over again. That's when the battery is usually shot. So you got 4 instances to where something can be wrong. So, and the reason you check that, how you check that, is all alternators should be pulling between 13.5 to 14 volts. So you put your voltmeter on there or test it like a battery tester. Just put it on the end of the cables and you're reading 13 to 14 volts. It means your battery's dead. Your alternator's doing all the work. Okay? Question?
Dang old Hubie's 101. He's a dang old mechanic. All right. Now, you are responsible for, after today, you are responsible for 5.1, 5.2, and what? 5.3. So what I want everybody to do this weekend is I want